This is your USMNT Abroad midweek update from November 1st to November 4th of 2021. Hi, if you're new here, I am Filippo and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today we have another midweek recap of what happened to the Americans abroad. So update you on Champions League, Europa League, some league games as well. And I will also update you on the current situation of the group stage of the Champions League. So, just to keep you posted on how the teams are performing, which Americans will advance the next round, which one will go to Europa League, and which ones will get knocked out. With that said, guys, if you enjoy these recaps, these updates on a weekly basis, we do it every Friday and every Monday. Monday, the weekend recap, Friday, the midweek recap. So if you kindly could, I truly appreciate if you can hit the like button. And I guess let's start with the transfer updates. Before we go to the performance updates, let's go through two transfer rumors that I think are worth mentioning. One is that Crystal Palace is rumored to be interested in signing Daryl DK this January. Now, that's probably going to depend on the price tag that Orlando City puts on DK. Picked up good form in MLS, so maybe Orlando's going to want those 20 million again. So, to the next one is a one that actually came out of nowhere. It's apparently Chelsea is rumored to be interested in signing Sargent Dest. According to a report from El Nacional, a Catalunya media outlet, it was reported that Chelsea is willing and wants to pay 25 million euros to sign Sargent Dest from Barcelona. Now, Barcelona is reported to want 35 million euros. Me personally, I haven't really put much thought into this transfer because I don't think it'll actually happen, but Thomas Tuchel does play with wingbacks, which does benefit Sargent Dest, along with the fact that as a fan, I would love to see Pulisic and Dest in the same team, but that's just no analysis there. Just as a fan, purely as a fan, I would definitely love that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So with that said, let's go to the performance updates. And let's start with the players that were in the Champions League this midweek. And since we were talking about Chelsea just now, let's start with Christian Pulisic, and Captain America is back. On Tuesday, Pulisic started off the bench for Chelsea during their 1-0 victory over Malmo. Pulisic came into the game at the final 16 minutes of this match. He had 17 touches, 100% passing accuracy, 11 out of 11 passes correct, 1 key pass, and lost possession twice. Honestly, these stats are not bad for a player returning from injury after 2 months. Actually, a little bit over 2 months. Now, at the 93rd minute, the very last play of the game, he had a one-on-one situation against the goalkeeper off a long ball. He was able to dribble past the goalkeeper to try to get into a better angle to score. The angle wasn't the best, and he also missed the finish, which he should have because the goal was pretty much open at this point. So that showed his ability, but it also showed that Christian Pulisic is still rusty, which is perfectly normal for him not to be match sharp considering he's been out for so long. Regardless, Captain America is back, and we love to see it. Now, Weston Mckennie from Juventus, maybe one of the most informed Americans abroad right now. On Tuesday, Weston started and played a full 90 minutes for Juve during their 4-2 win over Zenit, and what a performance he had. Outside of Paulo Dybala, he was probably Juve's second or third best player in this match. Now, Weston Mckennie played as a central midfielder for this match on a 4-4-2 formation. Locatelli was also in the midfield with Weston, and he would help more on the build-up, and Weston would be in a more advanced role, which is probably how you get the best out of him. And honestly, Allegri seems to have figured out a way to get the best out of Weston in the past few games. Now, despite the strong performance, unfortunately, this was a game of almost for Weston Mckennie. And let me explain. Weston was very active on this game, good at his pressing, and at the 40th minute, he almost scored off a header. That was one of the first almost. Early in the second half, he almost again had an assist after a beautiful 1-2 play with Dybala. He also almost had a golazo after an amazing drive carrying the ball from the midfield all the way to the box and managing to get a shot with 4 defenders surrounding him. He sadly hit the post. What a goal it would have been. Regardless of the several almost moments, Weston Mckennie was great. That is the 3rd game in a row that he does very well, and coming into the US men's national team camp this November, he is in great form. Now, Sargent Dest did not play for Barcelona this week. He does have lower back pain. He was on the bench, so he was an option, but apparently the injury is a little bit worse than we expected, and he didn't make the US men's national team roster. So Sargent Dest is out. We don't know how long he'll be out for Barcelona. He'll probably be back only after international break. Now, Jesse Marsch and Tyler Adams from RB Leipzig. On Wednesday, Tyler Adams started and played 72 minutes for Leipzig during their 2-2 draw with PSG at Germany. Now, Tyler Adams and Jesse Marsch got a yellow card for this match. Yes, Jesse Marsch as well. And essentially, the yellow card was for the same play. Adams for allowing Di Maria to get into his head, and then Tyler Adams went on to push him, retaliating, and Jesse Marsch for his reaction. He got a little carried away, and the ref gave him a yellow card as well. Now, in regards to the game, I can't really blame Jesse Marsch for this one, if I'm going to be honest. Leipzig actually played well, created plenty of chances, more than PSG to be fair, but was just not very effective when it came to finishing, including a penalty missed by Andre Silva in the first half when the game was still 1-0 for Leipzig, which he could have got a 2-0 lead, which would have led to a completely different game from what we saw. Now, Tyler Adams, in regards to his performance, it wasn't the best of the performances. The yellow card he got was just really, really silly. Should have not pushed Di Maria, without forgetting to mention that he is now suspended for their next match, which is a crucial match against Club Brugge, which they will battle for the Europa League spot. We will go through the group stage very soon, so you guys will get an update on the point system. Now, PSG's second goal, I saw some people blaming Tyler Adams, saying he kept Wijnaldum onside. But that's not on Tyler, in my personal opinion. But overall, it was just not a great game from Tyler Adams. Not a disaster class, but just not good. Stat-wise, he had 50 touches in this match, 85.7% passing accuracy, won 4 out of 7 ground duels, 1 out of 3 aerial duels, had 3 tackles, and 1 clearance. So, Zach Steffen didn't play for Manchester City midweek, stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes during their 4-1 victory over Club Brugge. And yes, he didn't come in, Ederson started. And since we're talking about Club Brugge, let's talk very quickly about Ona Tassawi. It was reported this week that he headed to England to resolve personal issues. It could be mental health related, that some people have said. That might explain why he's not getting many minutes. Hopefully he has it figured out. Hopefully he's doing fine, and we have him back very soon at Belgium. Now, John Brooks and Brenden Aaronson, because yes, they did face each other this midweek. On Tuesday, Brooks and Aaronson both started and both played a full 90 minutes during Wolfsburg's 2-1 victory over RB Salzburg. Now, just before I talk about both players, a change in manager has really done wonders for Wolfsburg. They have 2 games and 2 wins under Kofeld, the former Werder Bremen coach, and especially when you take into context that they were in an 8-game winningless streak prior to him taking over. Now, off to the performances, John Brooks was solid overall in this match. No big mistakes, just struggled a bit in transition, which at this point we already know it's one of his weaknesses. He also had 3 out of 5 ground duels won, 1 out of 3 aerial duels won. He had 6 clearances, which is pretty good, 3 interceptions, which is good as well, and 3 tackles. He also did connect some good long direct passes, which he's great. He's excelled on that for a while. And on the 68th minute, sadly, he got a yellow card for hitting Brenden Aaronson a little bit too hard on the play. Now, Brenden Aaronson, he had a very Brenden Aaronson-like game. Very active, very involved in the match. Didn't get any assists or goals, so he wasn't productive in that sense, but he was highly involved and had a pretty good game, to be fair. Brenden Aaronson had 68 touches, 1 shot on target, won 11 out of 16 ground duels, won 2 out of 3 aerial duels, lost possession 20 times, which is high, but it's pretty normal for an attacking midfielder, to be honest, and was able to draw 2 fouls. Overall, good performance by John Brooks and good performance by Brenden Aaronson. Now, Timothy Weah from Lille. On Tuesday, Weah started and played 72 minutes for Lille as a striker alongside Jonathan David on a 4-4-2 formation. Lille managed to get a big result by pulling a 2-1 away win against Sevilla. Weah had 1 shot off target and 1 blocked. He also had only 20 touches throughout the match and lost possession 7 times. He did have 1 key pass, which is a positive, and 73% passing accuracy. You know, I usually like Tim Weah on a dual striker formation, and especially when he's playing alongside Jonathan David, but this was just not a good performance by Weah, at least not this one specifically. I still think he's great as a dual striker, as a second striker actually, and on the right wing as well, but this one specifically wasn't very good. Regardless, I still think he's a major talent, and I most certainly hope he gets a lot of minutes in the US men's national team camp, hopefully as a starter since Giovanni Reyna is out. Last but not least, Pefok, and his form definitely dropped a lot from early in the season. On Tuesday, Pefok started off on the bench for Young Boys during their 2-0 loss to Villarreal. Pefok came into the game at the 82nd minute. Alright, that does it for the performance updates on the Americans in regards to their performance. Man, that was so confusing. But regardless of that, if you kindly could, make sure to hit the like button right now. And now let me go through the groups real quick, just to update you on which Americans might go through or not. I'm going to update you on all the groups in the Champions League. But stay tuned, we're also going to talk about Europa League and the league players as well. So for Group A, we have Manchester City leading with 9 points, PSG in second place with 8 points, Club Brugge in third with 4 points, and RB Leipzig in last with 1 point. So for this one, RB Leipzig will face Club Brugge next round, and it's a key game if they want to get that third spot for the Europa League. Now, in regards to the first and second place, Manchester City from Zach Steffen will advance, and so will PSG. Now, Group B, I'm going to skim through it very quickly. No Americans, not very interesting. We got Liverpool with 12 points, Porto with 5, Atletico Madrid with 4, and AC Milan with 1. Now, AC Milan has been a disappointment in this group. In regards to Porto, I guess Sebastian Soto is for Porto B, but there's no Americans in this group. Now, let's go to Group C. For Group C, we have Ajax completely dominating the group with 4 games, 4 wins, 12 points, 14 goals scored, 2 allowed. Then we have Borussia Dortmund of Giovanni Reyna coming in second, and Leonard Maloney, and they likely will qualify as they have been already destroyed twice by Ajax. In third place, we have Sporting, the current Portuguese champions, and in fourth place, we have Besiktas, which they're pretty much out at this point, and they have Kyle Laring, the Canadian, the forward. Now, Group D, which also doesn't have Americans, but I'm going to skim through it very quickly for you. For Group D, we have Real Madrid leading the group with 9 points in 4 matches, Inter Milan in second with 7 points in 4 matches, Sheriff somehow in third place with 6 points. They started off hot, but they cooled off in the last few matches, and Shakhtar Donetsk in last with 1 point. So it seems like Sheriff might make it to the Europa League at least. Now, Group E, that we do have Americans. So for Group E, we have Bayern Munich completely destroying the group with 4 wins in 4 games, 12 points. And then in second place, Barcelona with 6 points, 2 points ahead of Benfica, that's currently in third place. And then Dinamo Kiev sits in last with 1 point. So Barcelona seems like they are the favorites to go through the second spot. Serginho Dest plays there. Besides that, no other Americans right there. I guess you could say Taylor Booth technically is in Bayern, but he doesn't really play for Bayern. Now let's go to Group F. For Group F, we do have Americans, and it's PFOC with Young Boys. So they're in last place. They can still fight for the Europa League spot, but right now this is how the group stands. Manchester United leads with 7 points on a goal differential. Villarreal is in second with the same amount of points and 7 points total. Atalanta is in third with 5 points, and last Young Boys are with 3. So I don't really expect Young Boys to go through. I think they're going to finish in fourth. I think Manchester United, Atalanta will be the ones to get the 1 and 2nd seed. And then Villarreal, the current Europa League champions, will go in third and advance to the Europa League to defend their title, essentially. Now, Group G is the group that's packed with Americans. RB Salzburg leads the group, Brenden Aaronson right there with 7 points. Lille is in second place with 5 points. In goal differential, they are ahead of Wolfsburg with 5 points as well in third place, getting the Europa League spot. And then you have Sevilla in fourth place. And honestly, this group is open. Anything can happen for this one. Last but not least, we have another group that has more Americans, right? Group H, which has Juventus and Chelsea. So Group H has Juventus leading it with 4 wins in 4 games, 12 points. Second place has Chelsea with 9 points, and then Zenit in third with 3 points, and then Malmo in last with no points at all, 12 goals allowed and no goals scored. Honestly, this group, Juventus and Chelsea, will advance. It's pretty much set at this point. All right, so that's the update on the Champions League. There's 2 games left in the Champions League group stage, and we'll keep you guys updated on the next round when it happens. Now let's go to the Europa League players. And I won't update you on the Europa League groups. I'm sorry. Otherwise, the video is going to be way too long. All right, so now the Europa League. And let's start with Mark McKenzie from Genk. And, you know, Mark on Thursday stayed on the bench a full 90 minutes for Genk once again during their 2-2 draw with West Ham. He continues to struggle to get minutes for them. Now, Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic. On Thursday, CCV started and played a full 90 minutes for Celtic during their 3-2 victory over Ferencváros. Cameron Carter-Vickers had 60 touches, 88% passing accuracy, won 3 out of 8 ground duels, won 2 out of 2 aerial duels, had 5 clearances, 1 tackle, and 1 interception. Now, Sam Vines from Antwerp, the Belgium team Antwerp. On Thursday, Vines started and played a full 90 minutes for Antwerp during their 3-0 home loss to Fenerbahce, the Turkish club Fenerbahce. Now, Brian Reynolds from Roma, and he stayed on the bench a full 90 minutes for Roma once again in the Europa League. Nothing new there. He's not going to get minutes with Jose Mourinho in charge. So hopefully Brian gets a loan in January, and then he'll start seeing minutes again. I would love to see him get a loan to Venezia. Moving on to the next player, DeAndre Yedlin from Galatasaray. On Thursday, Yedlin started and played a full 90 minutes for Galatasaray during their 1-1 draw with Lokomotiv Moscow. Now, Yedlin got a yellow card for this one, and also the game-tying goal was mostly on DeAndre Yedlin, in my personal opinion. Again, the lack of awareness of a player's presence behind him in the box. That happened also last week against Besiktas when Kyle Larin scored a second goal for Besiktas during the derby. And we've seen it happen again on this play. Off a cross, he had the player behind him. He didn't look back, didn't have the awareness, and then he left the player wide open with a poor run where he was literally marking no player. Now, making mistakes is part of the game, but when you're a veteran like DeAndre Yedlin, you shouldn't be making the same mistakes like that in a consistent basis. Now, Christian Kappes from Brøndby. On Thursday, Kappes started and played 63 minutes for Brøndby during their 1-1 home draw with Rangers. Now, Brøndby's goal for this match was an own goal scored by Leon Balogun, a Rangers player, and for that goal, Christian Kappes did the deflection off a corner that ended up with the Rangers player scoring an own goal. So technically, Kappes got the assist for this one. So he scores the game-winning goal over the weekend, gets technically this assist. I think he's still surfing on that tactical effect. Ever since we had the interview here, this guy's been scoring, getting assists, putting up good performances, as it usually happens. Now, as for Conrad de la Fuente, the last player I want to talk about in the Europa League here, he stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes for Marseille at their draw with Lazio, the Italian club. So no minutes for Conrad in the Europa League this week. Okay, now we're going to go through the league players, which there weren't many leagues playing this week, so I'm just going to talk about the players in the championship, the English championship. The first one is Ethan Horvath, and he got no minutes for Nottingham Forest once again, stayed on the bench the full 90 minutes. The second player I want to talk about, actually it's two players, it's the Fulham boys, so Anthony Robinson, Jedi, and Tim Ream. On Tuesday, Robinson and Ream started and played a full 90 minutes for Fulham at their 7-0 win over Blackburn in the English Championship. Robinson had an assist for this one. Tim Ream had a solid performance even though Blackburn didn't really offer much on offense, and this is a big win. I mean, Blackburn is a mid-table team in the Championship, so it's not like they 7-0 the worst team in the league. This is a huge performance for Fulham, and I honestly, truly believe they're going to be back in the Premier League next season. Last but not least, Duane Holmes from Huddersfield. On Tuesday, Duane Holmes started and played 72 minutes for Huddersfield during their 1-1 draw with Peterborough in the English Championship. All right, everyone, next Monday we're going to have the weekend recap, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out, and don't forget to hit the like button before you say bye-bye to me. All right, so with that said, everyone, don't forget, we're also going to be doing live streams, match previews, 7 things we learned, everything for the U.S. men's national team camp, and we will also be doing coverage for the U20 camp, and we're going to bring David Kerr here to the channel to talk about, he's a USMNT youth specialist, so don't miss out on that content. All right, thank you, everyone, very much for watching. Have a great day. Ciao.